Hello everybody, Rebus here, welcoming you to a D&D story. I'm reminded of one of the very first games that I actually ended up playing, one of the first campaigns. And during that campaign, I played a Kenku Sorceror. If you do not know what a Kenku is, basically they are a race of bird people that have lost their ability to talk and have lost their ability to pretty much do anything that requires like having a speech and being able to directly like think up their thoughts. There's a whole back lore behind it about the Raven Queen, that kind of stuff. So I was playing this Kenku Sorcerer, but I misread that line. The line that basically stated that the Kenku could not speak correctly. So I ended up making my Kenku a Southern Bayou-esque character, complete with like the top hat, the very like deep Southern drawl kind of feel to him. And he was supposed to be, this whole big backstory about coming from prison, getting his Southern Bayou captain basically arrested. There was a whole kind of like thing behind it. And that's not what really ruined the character. The backstory worked if it had been tweaked better. The problem with this character, Lucian Crow, as his name was Lucian was very self-centered, very selfish throughout the entire game. Everything was a devious plan because I thought initially that is how D&D was played. You ended up having your character and you were kind of the main character of your story. You were the main character of the story. And that's not how D&D is. D&D is very team-based. So Lucian would do a lot of like crazy things where he would try to leave the team and he would try to do like things that like were the path of least resistance. I'm reminded of one part where we had broken into a resistance hideout and we weren't getting these answers from this powerful sorceress. Now take into account this sorceress was probably like high level compared to us. I was level 1. And I decided to try Charm Person, which did not go over well. I think the GM, because more than likely that character should have immediately been obliterated and removed from the game. But he allowed it to go on, stuff happened, and basically the character was kind of like not removed, just kind of like tweaked. So the problem with this is after he escaped from this evil sorceress, he was bent on revenge. That's what I thought it was. I thought my character is always right. My character is the one leading the story. So obviously I took like the kind of evil path, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to actually like do what I want. So I embraced that. I was like, well, then I'm evil. I'm gonna do evil stuff. And I ended up burning like an entire town down. Which was really, I think, a little overboard for what should have happened. But it still happened nonetheless. So this was all well and good. It hurt that like everybody in the party was pretty much a good character. We had paladins, we had characters that were very devout to their like goodness. And Lucian did not fit in. The other problem was this game was very political, and I made it to the point that I wanted Lucian to be very heavily backstoried. And instead of like having my team helping me out or ever telling anything about my character, Lucian decided to almost look like a traitor throughout the entire game. And if you've never played D&D, once you start losing the trust of teammates, you ask that big question. Why are we traveling with this character if he is inherently evil? And that kept coming up. Lucian kept doing things to abandon the team. He kept doing things that like seemed shady, seemed out of place. He had a split person, like another personality that was his brother, supposedly, that worked for the evil government, and it was just a train wreck. Everything about him was a train wreck. None of it made sense. It was a very, very, very tough call. Eventually, probably like 4 sessions in, after, you know, my team just getting dragged through the dirt back and forward trying to deal with this character, I ended up having him get killed off. And it always kind of reminds me of this, like, funny, just like, looking back on it, I'm always like, don't play a character like that. You can have your backstory, you can have your secrets, you can have your, like, everything you want. But you have to make sure that you're actually playing as a team member of a group. And Lucian just was not that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I know it's a little bit rambling. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. But until next time, guys, this is Rebus saying, I'll catch you later.